4, Catherine Butler. 5, Jenna Gardner-Harrison. 6, Abby Thornley. 7, Freddie Edmonds. 8, Madison Davison. 9, Tara Blyde. 10, Louise Blyde.
So what do you want from me?
Kia ora koutou, katoa. The climax of the CMK Premier Women's Competition in Taranaki Rugby is here, and it's a beautiful but chilly Friday night, and we're at Yarrow Stadium for this match. And a good atmosphere building too, with a large crowd just down in front of us here at the West Stand. And it's a match between form team Southern and defending champions Clifton. South versus North, a repeat of last year's final, and it's going to be an absolute cracker. Good evening and welcome to Taranaki Rugby's coverage of the final. Will Johnston with the call, and alongside me for tonight's game is former Taranaki field coach Matt Stone. And Matt, there's always a little bit of a charge in the air on finals night.
Well, fantastic night, isn't it? It's great seeing a bit of a girls' festival first, and then the climax of the women's final, so it'll be great.
And we'll have a look at the two teams ready to take the field tonight. Starting with Southern, this will be their 5th consecutive final. They were the form team all season with only one loss, which came against Clifton in round 2 of the competition. They got through their semi-final 36-21 against Inglewood, and it's a very well-balanced side. Many have experienced finals before, going through the front row, and the entire team, Bronte Gorham at hooker, Donna King and Kate Thompson, the other forward pack, the other front rowers, I should say. Cherie Brown is the captain at 4, alongside Jacinta Ketty at 5, Evelyn Arnold at 6, Sarah Winter at 7. The number 8 is Brianna Poindestri. In the halves, Amelia Parata and Lynn Smith. The midfielders, Pearl Kahui and Riley Gorham in 13. The back 3, Sarah Farmer, Hannah McLean and Victoria Arnold. And the Southern bench, Kahui, Dobson, Canterbury, Marsden, Kukuta, Dobson, Iritana Hohaya, who we know is bracketed alongside Karen Pullen. So not sure who will be lining up, but we'll certainly see them a little bit later on. And Rio Hari rounds out the playing 23 for Southern. Well, Clifton a 6-2 record this year with losses to Southern and an upset against Coastal. They lost 10 players from last year, and they won their semi-final comfortably 56-5. Wins and Madison Davison. In the halves, 2 sisters, Tara Blyde and Louise Blyde. Baden Lee Munro Smith at 12, but she'll be wearing jersey number 18. Janelle Dedaydig at 13. And the back 3, we've got Rocky Robinson, Shayna Ray Tamari and Eva Martin. And the impact or the bench, Burbage Love, Nata, who was a late addition into the squad, Birch, Dellinger, Proctor, Briss, and also Huffman. And the coach for Clifton is Justin Davidson. He said a comment, Matt, during the week, just go out and have fun. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? And ultimately, if you're having fun, it brings culture and it brings excitement to the field, doesn't it?
It does. And the coach for Southern is Devon Berry. His 5th consecutive season. He's been through finals. He's won some, he's lost some as well. And after this game, he is pulling away from that coaching position. And as we can see, Clifton, led out by their captain, Marie Dellinger Phipps. 16 games for the Fio. You've coached her, you know what she's like. She's a great leader, isn't she?
She is, and she's a very skillful player. I believe come from a basketball background, and so very skillful player for that position. Just looking at both teams, Willie, youth but inexperience, so that's exciting. I think it'll see composure, I'm hoping, at the right time for both teams, but also a little bit of flair.
And Cherie Brown leads out the Southern side. And what a great initiative too. A lot of the young Southern players right next to them. And Cherie Brown, of course, she'll cover a lot of ground. 17 games for the Fio. She's an absolute stunning player. not only for Southern but for Taranaki as well.
Someone that I know that the girls really look up to. You know, she's been there for a long time, has a really good relationship with a lot of them. So yeah, hopefully they go well tonight.
Yeah, and a great atmosphere here. The music, good crowd in front of us here. You'd say a couple of hundred people just looking down and having a bit of a look. And as you said earlier, Matt, there's a really good feel around, you know, a festival atmosphere too. And this isn't the only ground that they're doing it. The Vogeltown Park across the way there, they had something similar too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They had a good little festival testing the lights out. But I love seeing this, the younger girls running around. Girls and women's rugby really know how to create an atmosphere, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of passionate supporters down in front of us tonight.
I can see Iditana Hohaya there in the reserves for Southern with a warm-up jacket on.
That's a good sign. So she was bracketed alongside Karen Pullen. Iditana Hohaya, Black Ferns, of course, 10 games for the Fio.
Newly graduated police officer.
Yes, in Hawera.
Yes.
Yep. So the scene is set here at Yarrow Stadium. Chloe Sampson is the referee. A big night for her as well. Her assistants, Dwayne Keegan and Mark Fisher. Preparations are completed. And the final, after 10 weeks of play, is about to get underway at Yarrow Stadium. It's the repeat of last year's final. Southern playing away on our right, Clifton to our left, and they will kick off.
Are we right in saying the first women's final on Yarrow Stadium?
I would say you're probably correct, apart from a domestic game.
Yes.
But we're underway here at Yarrow Stadium, and it is Cherie Brown to take it down for Southern. The music dies down and there's a hush around the stadium. Number 10 is Lynn Smith for Southern. She clears downfield, and there's a little bit of time here for Clifton to scramble back. And of course Clifton, it's got to be charged down under a little bit of pressure, but they've done well here, Clifton. Feeding away, there's Rocky Robinson now. Big, strong tackle. And they've done pretty well there, Clifton. Number 18 is Baden Lee Munro Smith. And digging in and grabbing it is Tara Blyde. Feeds it away, and they'll bang it downfield. Number 11 is Sarah Farmer. Leaves it, though, for the fullback and Victoria Arnold. She runs it up to the halfway, and in fact gets into Clifton's territory. Parata. A couple of one-off runners there around the 15-metre mark. Parata back into position again. There's Smith. Thought about passing, then goes into contact. And no man's land really at the moment. Southern with early possession here. Quick hands on that far side of the field, and just a loss forward there. That was Sarah Winter on that far side. In fact, it wasn't knocked on. There's no advantage being applied here, so they'll carry on. And Clifton have possession. Left it behind, but that's okay. Blyde again. And that's Gardner Harrison. Recently in the 25 Games Club. It's a big achievement, and the first penalty of the evening. Holding on is the call. Your assertions after the first couple of minutes, Matt?
Well, some good continuity there. Both teams looking for a little bit of territory, and I think Southern probably won that with a good kick chase line and kept Clifton in their own half.
So Lynn Smith going for touch. First set piece of the evening, around about the 22. Lynn Smith, 47 points in the regular season. Vice captain of the side. And her first kick of the evening is on target. And it will be Bronte Gorham to throw. And one against the throw here. Blyde. In the midfield it goes for Clifton. Number 13 is Didaydig. And they concede another one to Clifton. And a couple of options here, Matt. Will they take the points or go for the line out again?
Well, they go for a scrum.
Yeah.
Be interesting. It creates a little bit more space, doesn't it, for them? So they might back their speed on the outside.
So in the front row for Southern, we've got King, Gorham and Thompson. For Clifton, Anderson, Dellinger, Phipps and Phillips, Nassif. And Southern, 48 first-class caps in the forwards.
Certainly a lot of experience. Be interesting to see how Clifton defend here, right on their own line.
And there's the big shunt there from Clifton, but Southern have it back. There's Smith now. She gets it off into the midfield, and number 14 in from the wing is Hannah McLean. Another one with first-class experience. Waiting for it is Kahui now. Goes lateral and taken down about the 22, trying to get over the ball. Cherie Brown. Now she had Farmer there with her, but decided to run it herself. Parata, and it's been lost there. Knocked on. Wasn't a great pass. And Kate Thompson with the loss forward.
At this stage, Clifton are looking a little bit more organised, both on attack and defence. I think Southern need to... They're relatively narrow, which means the defence will be narrow, less holes. So I'd like to see them perhaps spread a little bit, spread the defence and see if they can go through them before going around them.
You just got to slow things down too, because as we know in finals, it can go one or two ways. You can be quite expansive and also conservative as well. So just got to cool those nerves.
You do.
It's a stable platform for both teams on this occasion. Blyde to Blyde, two sisters working in tandem here for Clifton. And they run it up outside the 22. And jersey number 18 is Munro Smith. Eva Martin is in 15 for Clifton. It's Tara Blyde moving it away to Louise. A little bit messy there though at the breakdown though for Clifton, so they just need to control that down, and it's been turned over. So Cherie Brown over the ball. Pops it off, and Southern have a chance. Now pretty much where it started from that line out. There's Smith. Off it goes to King. Up towards the 22 they go once more. Southern. Got ball in possession. It's Smith. Clifton getting over the ball. Gardner Harrison, no cigar there so far. Parata. Behind play they move. It's Louise Blyde, has to make the tackle on the ball carrier. It's been set up there though for Parata to Brown. Used on a couple of occasions to run the ball up. And it's been turned over. That one though is a good one from Gardner Harrison. 5 games for the Fio, and using her experience, they're going to get it back to Baden Lee Munro Smith. And outside the 22, so they can't kick it for touch. Victoria Arnold is at the back, and she runs. Met by her opposite, and Eva Martin distributes off to Hannah McLean. Goes lateral, finds a little bit of space, and she storms down that far touchline. Hannah McLean. Martin coming across and making the tackle, and bundled into touch. A great run, but equally the defence was just as good.
Yeah, Hannah McLean, she was an up-and-comer a few years ago when I was involved, and it's good to see her, having a little bit of success there. And Gemma Gardner Harrison as well as another young girl who I saw when I was a school teacher actually coming through. A lot of talent. I think she's got a big future.
Yeah, it's a future, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of players here without first-class caps, but a lot of players that probably will start to get first-class caps. Number have already been identified in the system, haven't they?
Yes, absolutely.
So, Clifton, under advantage here. Catherine Butler going up and grabbing it. And so they can take their time a little bit here. Under the advantage, Munro Smith, first receiver. McLean, who made that great burst down the touchline, goes back into the traffic. And they concede another one. Third penalty of the evening, holding on.
Been a few penalties and turnovers at the breakdown, which suggests to me that there's probably not support quick enough for the ball carrier.
And it's an area, as you know, Matt, that referees are really hot on too, rewarding that jackler over the ball if they're doing all the right things.
Absolutely, yeah. And rightly so.
So obviously Munro Smith with the kicking duties tonight as it goes over into the construction site at Yarrow Stadium. The East Stand underway.
She's probably the most experienced player out there tonight. Yep. I think she made a debut for the Fio 2013 as a 16-year-old.
Is that right?
Yes.
Played for Counties Manukau too in the Wharapama. The ball is bobbling along. It's gone back. A good signal there from the referee, Chloe Sampson. And now, what can they do to try and get out of their own half here? Good ball handling. There's Robinson. And a great tackle again from Southern coming across. That was Riley Gorham. And they've still got possession, but it's been lost. It might be a little bit dewy out there, just walking across pre-game. It's a little bit slippery, so that might be making an impact. But what can Southern do? There's the hooker in Gorham. That's Bronte. Tackled, though, by Clifton. So a game that's been played sort of around the 10-metre line in Clifton territory. The odd one has gone into the 22. Parata over the ball. Missing the one-off runner, and they go out to Gorham. That's Riley. And they've got a little bit of space. There's Farmer down the left-hand side. Blyde with the tackle. It's a good one too. Referee playing advantage. Smith going in and playing halfback. Brown thought about passing. And hit hard, though, by the Clifton defence. Robinson coming around the side, so another advantage here being applied. Thompson smacks into Phillips Nassif. Smith now with a kick over the top under advantage, so they can do that. It goes into the end goal. Going back is Martin. They'll come back for the penalty though.
Well, that passage of play was all about movement of the ball, wasn't it? And that's what we want to see. I will say that I know that this field's wider than most of the fields in Taranaki, so fitness will be a key thing at the end too.
You actually really notice it when you're out here, whether it be playing or refereeing, just a little bit more space, that you're not used to. It's very noticeable.
Yeah, so our my Stratford Eltham team that I coach, we played Spotswood here a couple of weeks ago, and it was very noticeable for those boys that early in the second half they were puffing a little bit more than normal.
And a great track too, so
absolutely.
Probably the game's a bit more faster than if you're playing at maybe Victoria Park or up on Yarrow's number 4.
That's right.
No disrespect to Victoria Park, of course, Matt.
Not at all. But I think I'm a big advocate, rugby's having its troubles around growing the game potentially. And for me, it's about these players here, both men and women, creating a spectacle for the crowd, isn't it?
And look at the crowd that we've got tonight. It is brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
And Southern on the front foot, deep inside the 22. And what can they do here? They get it out wide. Here's McLean, already had a burst. Storming for the line. McLean's going to get the opening try of the final.
Again, just movement of the ball to space. That's what you want to see in a rugby field, and a great finish by Hannah.
Well, she'd been threatening for a number of phases ago with that burst downfield. And you could argue that she really set it up. They had the line out. Just simple draw and pass. And she just busted through.
Well, the last 2 or 3 minutes have been Southern, haven't they? They've got a little bit of go-forward ball through the middle. They've been moving it to the edges. It's a bit of a turnaround probably from the first 5 minutes where I thought Clifton were on top.
So 5-0 with a kick to come. Southern, being the form team this year, only dropped a game during the CMK women's competition. It will be Lynn Smith, the number 10 for Southern, to add the extras potentially. 5 out. It'll be a tough one, but no wind out there at the moment, so that's encouraging.
I'd say perfect conditions for rugby, isn't it?
Yep.
So Lynn Smith, another player that's been around for a long time. I know she's very proud of the Southern club. Farmer, I believe. And so good to see her committing for long term and probably being a role model for the younger players coming through.
So the Hannah McLean try, not converted. 5-0 is the score here at Yarrow Stadium.
I think now Clifton will be looking for a little bit of territory, won't they? It's been around sort of the middle of the field. The last 2 minutes, Southern's got a bit of territory, but it's they can get territory and then a bit of possession. It will lead to some success.
Restart there from Clifton, allowed to bounce. Blyde with the chase. She toes it ahead, and the dead ball line wins the race.
That's just work right off the ball, isn't it? It's urgency. Well done.
Well, that would have been a cracker, I reckon. Probably exactly what Clifton needed after conceding that try. It will be a 22. They did have the option as well with a scrum back where she kicked it from, but obviously the 22 is a bit more advantageous. So Smith, who missed the earlier conversion, with the restart. And that's Poindestry. Rangy, number 8. Runs it up over the 10-metre line. Now, a good chance here for Clifton inside Southern's half. In fact, it was Davison, got the wrong team.
Sister of Tiana Davison, I believe, who
Yes.
is playing in the Australian Women's Rugby League team.
And she's doing well. Farmer going back, and Blyde. Off it goes, and that's Victoria Arnold in 15 for Southern. Parata, ball left behind. Thompson picks it up. And they concede the penalty to Southern. And Clifton just need to slow things down here a little bit. They've got a few options.
Be interested to see what they do here. Scrum.
And their scrum's been solid so far.
I think so, yeah, it has been. I guess a line out could be a bit more contestable, couldn't it? Music's blaring. There's the atmosphere we're talking about, Willie. It's great.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, a very good crowd here. And I mean, we've only got a section of the West Stand, and I'm sure Amanda at halftime could probably do a bit of a pan when she can. But sort of got the middle section, and it's pretty much packed.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it really is.
Now Davison off the back. Effectively an 8-9 play. Robinson gets the ball from Tara Blyde. Clifton inside the 22. Pretty much the first time during the game. Anderson with a charge up field, probably 15 metres out from the goal line. A lot of work to do though. Blyde, off it goes to Phillips Nassif, and hit hard and driven back there from Southern, but they've still got it back here, Clifton. Munro Smith, again, shape to pass, then goes into the defence. Louise Blyde now makes a couple of metres. Southern getting over the ball here. And they've turned it over, that's great work, no, but illegally. Too late maybe getting there is the call.
Louise Blyde, she's got a bit of energy about her, hasn't she? Just in the last couple of minutes, a couple of important plays there.
Another scrum.
Midfield means options both sides, doesn't it? Can be very hard to defend a midfield scrum from this position. And that's the reason for that is the 8 carrying with the 9 coming to the right. A halfback's got to make a decision on the defensive team as to which way to go.
And it looks like, just off camera, they are going to split their backline too, so it's a 3-3. Martin and Blyde, and they come away to Martin. Off to Munro Smith now. Tries to get out of one tackle, and they're about 10 metres out from the line. They're still going to plug away. No, I thought they were going to come away this way, but they don't. They go to Davison now. Shrugs off a couple of tackles. 6 metres out from the line, Clifton. Down by 5. What can they do? Nice inside ball there to Anderson. Clifton looking really good with ball in hand here. Can they get rewarded? Davison again. Couldn't quite get the pass off to Munro Smith. Back to that open side, and another run there from Anderson. Couple of one-off runners here. Will it work? We'll wait and see. Blyde, they move it out into the backs. Good defence coming up, but that's a high tackle there. Blyde gets it back, spots more space though on that far side, up towards the 5 metre line. Tara Blyde. The number 6 is Thornley. Her first touch of the evening. Southern there, got to be careful to make an effort to roll away. The hooker is Dallinger Phipps, the captain, up towards the try line. Another pick and go, ever so close, Clifton. Will they keep it in the forwards? Yes, they will. Thompson trying to drive them back. And another penalty. They're under advantage, and they'll come back for it.
Some really good variety in Clifton's attack there, not one-dimensional, a little bit off 9. A little bit pick and go, a little bit movement of the ball.
And they're going to go quickly here. Dadejig. Off it goes. Martin storming over the line. Referee in a good position. It's going to be held up. Great defence by Southern, and they'll come away with a goal line dropout. Patience on D.
Absolutely, yeah. They, some good attack, but yes, some even better D, I'd say. Scramble D on the edge there.
They went quickly. They had the points on offer.
When you see defence like that, you know they've got a good culture in their team. They're working for each other, and I know that Devon Berry really creates that in his teams.
He's a great man, great coach too, but here's another opportunity. The other winger is Tamati. They can set it up again here. Clifton. Anderson.
They can move it to the right. There's a bit of space on the right edge there.
It's been knocked on though. As the Union staff look on, up at the top of the screen. Thompson. I think Southern will be very happy with this if they can clear it from outside their 22 without conceding any points. Smith will attempt to do that. And she does, but she hasn't found touch. Nicely controlled there by Martin. And she's got a few options here. Decides to run it up inside the 22 so they can start again. Blyde. Thought about passing it off to Anderson. A couple of the forwards working really well in tandem. The ball handling has actually been really good. Southern trying to get over the ball. It's loose at the back and a bit awkward. Referee said it's gone backwards and they're allowed to play. There's Abby Thornley again, who's been highlighted as a player to watch in this final tonight. Blyde to Munro Smith with another little kick over the top. Here's Robinson chasing. Oh, it's knocked on maybe. Rocky Robinson just couldn't quite control it, but that was a good option to kick over the top.
Great option. Always gets the defence second guessing, doesn't it? Very hard to turn and chase to protect your own line. Certainly a confidence boost in the last few minutes for Clifton.
Yeah, they've just been plugging away. No reward as of yet, but it's a chance to see what they can do on attack. Probably
27 minutes in, is it?
That's how long we've been on air for, so I would imagine probably maybe
20 minutes.
20 minutes
Yeah.
gone. Yep, that's an estimate. And thanks for joining us on Taranaki Rugby's coverage of the CMK Women's Final. It is 5-0. Hannah McLean scored a try in the far corner for Southern. Couldn't be converted by Smith. But for the last 10 minutes, it's been Clifton down this end.
Interested to see how they exit their strategy for exit here. And this is no disrespect to women. The kick obviously isn't as long as the men. So we're interested to see what their strategy is here. Number off the back, good idea.
Yeah, run it off the back. That's Poindestry, the number 8. They lose it forward, though. Munro Smith sizing up her options. Off it goes here. Clifton a chance. And Tamati, off it goes to Martin. She controlled it, turns it back in field, and that may have been knocked on. And no, hasn't gone into touch, but under advantage again. Blyde. And they'll come back for the knock on. I thought it was forward, though, but Tamati controlled it. She got it off to Martin.
Martin certainly likes running with the ball, doesn't she? And she does it very effectively. Good to see.
So a scrum on that far side. As we'll update the Super Rugby. The Crusaders leading the Blues by 32 points to 3 at half-time. You wouldn't have picked that.
Wouldn't have picked that. Not ideal for my betting syndicate of taking the Blues.
Braden Ennell scored in the first 3 minutes.
You can't underestimate Crusaders in this sort of in finals footy, can you?
Yeah, they know what to do. They've been there and done that, haven't they? But here at Yarrow Stadium, 5-0. The final of the CMK Women's Premier Competition.
Southern will need some line speed here.
Oh, that's a tight head. Goodness, Clifton will be very disappointed with that one. And they're going to pass it in front of their own goalpost. And there's McLean who scored that try. She tries to break through another one. In fact, it was Gorham. Patatik going back to Smith. Bangs it straight down the middle of the field. And it could bounce here into touch. There is a chase coming from Farmer. It stays in field though. Farmer tried to tow it ahead, but Clifton's done well. That's Martin at the back. And a little knock on there. Sampson picked that up, the referee.
Great exit by Southern, and again, just for the young people watching, the kick chase by, who was that? By Farmer led to the mistake by Clifton. So very important. The kick is only as good as its chase, Willie.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Old school cliche there.
But it's dead right. Yeah, you got Maddie Davison there, the number 8 for Clifton. Almost a dead spit of her sister, Tiana, who's going really well. And her father, Justin, the coach.
Yes.
Spoke to both captains, both coaches during the week, and they're absolutely stoked to be playing on the number 1 ground. And the players are too, so it's really good to see. And I think this new turf is just promoting it.
Some opportunities that potentially a lot of players might only get once, so it's good to see.
That's great, yeah. And Gorham, who made that initial break out of the 22, just fired a loose pass. And they'll have a line out. But you're right, you know, it's like other games of rugby around the club scene. It's a big occasion at the time, and probably the biggest occasion that they're going to play on.
Yeah, absolutely. Not the first line out?
No, we've had a couple, I think.
Had a couple, had we?
Similar place, I believe.
Clearly I wasn't watching the game.
Will be Dallinger Phipps to throw it in. Her daughter Leah is on the bench. Mum and daughter combo, that's very rare in rugby.
Good line out.
And Butler goes up with it, Blyde. And what can they do here to get out of danger here, Clifton? It was Freedom Edmonds, 9 games for the field, running it up. Munro Smith bangs it downfield. Oh, just losing her footing there was Victoria Arnold, but she's done really well, and it's been met by applause from this really good crowd here in front of us at the West Stand. Parata to Brown, up to the 10. An even contest so far, but Southern have the slight edge with that advantage, 5-0 at the moment. Ball is there, and they're going to go to that far side of the field. Smith to Thompson, and a good hit there from Anderson. They've still got ball in hand here to Southern. Clifton having to make a lot of the tackles. Parata thought about passing, then goes into the oncoming defence. Smith has got to go in and play halfback. The one-off runner is Thompson. Taken down and lays it back with accuracy. The ball comes out though, and they're entitled to grab it, Clifton, the defending champions. Running away with it is Phillips Nassif. Davison up to the 10. Blyde to Munro Smith with a goose step. Ball in one hand and tucked underneath the arm to run it up. Southern trying to get over the ball, and they could have the turnover. Yep, they will.
Southern are winning the battle, I think the line speed battle at the moment, so they're not giving Clifton too many opportunities on attack, whereas I've just noticed that Clifton's line speed is reduced a little bit and Southern are getting a bit of front foot ball.
So Lynn Smith and 10 for Southern will clear for touch. And Blyde thought about batting it in, but the ball's gone too far for that. So it's a line out about the 22.
Not the first line out, Willie?
Not the first line out, no.
Okay, yeah, right.
You switched on now, are you? Good platform here for Southern. And running up with it. Oh, that's a nice little run there. And they lay it back here for Parata. Smith. Oh, and she, just couldn't quite control that one. I went forward. I think it may have bounced off the player in front of her, back into her hands.
It's a bit unlucky, just a timing issue there.
So another scrum, and Clifton will have the feed. Of course, during the season, played 8, won 6, lost 2. They finished in second place after the regular season. They beat Coastal in the semi-final 56-5. And looking at that result, you'd hope that they haven't played their final in the semi. You know what it's like.
Yeah, absolutely.
It happens, doesn't it?
I guess they are defending champions too, aren't they?
Yeah.
So generally, target on their back if you're a defending champion, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Southern got a tight head before, but this time Clifton control it. And what can they do? They dig. And they've got some space on this near side. Blyde passes it back in field. Running out a little bit of space. But going in for it is Freedom Edmonds. And now Thornley with a burst up to the halfway line. Blyde now is back into position. Munro Smith playing first receiver. And Anderson bumps off one and then taken down by Kahui. Munro Smith. They take it to that far side of the field. Busting through is Dig. Inside the 22, that's a good run. She lays it back. The Clifton support is there. Munro Smith with a storming run. And they're penalised. Not sure what the signal is. Was it maybe an extra roll possibly?
Not sure. I couldn't see that, but centre Dig. A couple of very strong runs there. Probably got the momentum for Clifton.
Yeah, and they'll be disappointed they gave away the penalty there because look where they were. 6-7 metres out from the line.
Even though it'll be Southern's line out, important that Clifton throw 1 or 2 jumpers up to put pressure on the Southern line out. A little bit of fatigue setting in, I've noticed, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, probably about 30 minutes gone potentially. So, that throw's not great. And they'll come back for the scrum for the not straight. So Clifton can restart again. Yeah, you can just see the body language, hands on hips. Just a little bit tired. And
this is where you need a couple of your young players, don't you, to add the spark, to lift your team when they're a bit tired. Chloe, the referee's had a good start to the game.
She has set a really good standard up around the breakdown. It has been fairly clean though. I mean, I think there was one high tackle in the 22 when Clifton were on attack. A couple of holding ons and the previous penalty over there. So, yeah, it's been fairly free-flowing so far.
And that's free-flowing. That's a testament to a good referee, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you could argue both ways. If it's free-flowing, you could argue, what are they missing? But again, I think tonight it's probably free-flowing in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
She's not over-refereeing
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think in finals, sometimes you can try and set a standard and maybe the game doesn't quite need it.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So Clifton inside Southern's half. And here's Munro Smith. Fires the pass off to Robinson. We know she's got so much speed. And a great tackle. It's been missed, though. And that was Gorham, who just brushed off the oncoming attack. Thornley. Blyde under a little bit of pressure. Off to her sister. And they feed it out to the backs. Dellinger Phipps. And eventually it lands into the hands of Tamari. Smith having to make the tackle. Offload, though, to Martin. And she's in touch.
Oh, some very good rugby from Clifton, side to side. Very hard to defend that, but Southern have done a very good job again.
I think it's just showing Munro Smith's experience, just going lateral, looking for that space, and then going through, and then obviously popping the pass over the top.
As soon as she sees the defender turn the shoulders in, over the top to space.
So Gorham with the throw, and the previous one wasn't straight. And tidying up at the back is Gardner Harrison. Dig, who had a really good run moments ago, and she's still keen to get up towards the try line. They lay it back. There's Tara Blyde now running up towards the post. just taken short. A great opportunity just before half-time here for Clifton. They're close and they're over.
Well, just what I'm sure Justin Davidson was looking for just before half-time. So they've built that up, haven't they, over a period of time. They've had the territory, they've had the possession, and in the end, Southern couldn't hold on.
And it's Madison Davison with the try, and the scores at the moment are level with a kick to come. And one right out in front here. And it's going to be a droppy, an old-fashioned drop kick for Gardner Harrison. And she adds the extras. 7-5, Clifton in the lead.
This is a very important time just before half-time for either team. So the Crusaders are very good at this, aren't they? Scoring before and after half-time. So I think the message for both teams would surely be we need to score before half-time.
Well, it's been threatening for a while, hasn't it? The Clifton attack. A couple of times they, made mistakes or gave away a penalty, and Southern got out of their own 22 in their own half. But Clifton came back, haven't they? And they've got the rewards.
Yes, yeah.
So the restart. And there's the try scorer, and Davison offloads in the tackle to Gardner Harrison. Love the old-fashioned drop kick, actually. That was quite good. Either she doesn't know how to kick off for tea, or the tea was too late. Or
yeah.
she favours the
Do we blame the manager there?
Yeah, let's blame the manager. Martin. Bounces beautifully for Robinson. Clifton on the attack, and they get it inside. Southern's half. Left through the hands. And that's Freedom Edmonds running up. And it's been knocked on at the back, but that kick, the bounce of the football, man, it can go one of two ways. It can sit up or it can go into touch, and that one sat up.
Absolutely it did. I must say, I talked about fatigue before, but the last few minutes doesn't suggest that, does it? I might be wrong.
Yeah. So on the stroke of half-time here in the CMK Premier Women's Final. Thanks so much for joining us on a massive weekend of rugby, not only here in Taranaki with the club stuff, which we'll touch on shortly, but also Super Rugby as well. We'll update you on the score in Christchurch. If you don't want to know, then turn it off. 32-3. We're in the second half. 44 minutes gone. But in the meantime, here at Yarrow Stadium at grassroots level, Clifton with a 7-5 advantage just before the break here in the final. Kick downfield from Smith. It's met by Eva Martin, and she's going to run it up. A little bit isolated though. Smith attempted to get over the ball, but Blyde goes in and grabs it. Another try would be outstanding here. And they're going to be penalised again. No clear release at the tackle against Southern is the decision.
Great kick by Lynn Smith. Good line speed in the kick chase, but didn't need to give that penalty away. It's an easy out for Clifton.
Yeah, it really is too, because they can clear it. And they've got a line out around the 10-metre line. Mark Fisher with the flag up.
Is he keeping up along the sideline? I haven't been watching.
I think he's doing all right.
Is he doing all right?
Yeah. I'll let him know if not. Yeah. So Dellinger, Phipps, again one against the throw. Southern doing really well there at line-out time. A couple there went astray, but this time they're okay, and that's a good tackle there. It was Robinson on Farmer, the two wingers. A good little battle on the wings, to be fair, and even good little battle at fullback too. Tonight, Parata to Smith. again, thought about passing and then runs it up to the 10. Southern with possession. That's King. Again, going lateral, haven't quite broken the advantage line yet. The form team so far this season, but this time they just make a couple of metres up over the gain line. Thompson made her debut for the Fio in 2018. This time it is quick ball, recycle, another great tackle. Deidada has had a pretty good game, and they get the penalty too, Clifton. Holding on's the call.
What option will they take here? Will they kick long? Take the scrum. Or tap and go, maybe. Could be an option. Scrum,
yeah. It's been reliable so far. As we shouldn't be too far away to half-time. Yeah, just a few tired bodies out there at the moment. You can just tell, when scrums take a little bit longer to set up. Blyde now. Right, what can they do on the stroke of half-time? There's the other Blyde sister breaking through. That's Louise. And she's still going. Fires it back in field. Referee playing advantage. It may have been a high tackle. Yeah, it was. But what a break there from Louise Blyde. The two Blyde sisters working really well here. And they're going to go quickly again. It's Edmonds. 5 metres out from the line. Clifton in the leads by 7 points to 5. Dellinger Phipps. Ball is at the back there. Blyde to Munro Smith. Numbers away to the left. They must score here. Deidig. Martin. Can they score? The defence coming across. It's good so far. Over the line, it's a try. They've done really well. Clifton extend their lead. It may have been Eva Martin.
Yes, it is. I think she's getting the pats on the back.
Eva Martin scores.
Yeah, that just came from tempo for me, Willie. Just tempo rugby, tap and go, movement of the ball. Very hard to defend that close to the line. So I love seeing the catch and pass staying square, and that's what Clifton did very well. I think the coach, Justin Davison, wherever he is, I can't see, or down this end, will be very happy with that just before half-time.
Oh, yeah. And he's a man that doesn't give away much emotion.
No.
So Munro Smith to kick this one from wide out. And might be half time, but Clifton just sitting up out of shot. Coach is not coming on, so maybe there's still time to play. The kick's no good. No, that is half-time. So the score remains 12-5. Clifton, the defending champions, with the upper hand in the CMK Taranaki Women's Final here at Yarrow Stadium. Southern scored first. It was Hannah McLean to make it 5-0. The conversion was missed. And then Davison stormed back to make it 5-all. Gardner Harrison with the conversion right out in front for 7-5. And then that try just before the break, 12-5. It will remain because the conversion's been missed at the break here at Yarrow Stadium. Matt, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I think it's a clear example of having territory, gaining possession, and it's very difficult for the opposition team to play rugby in their own half. I would like to see from both teams slightly stronger ball carriers from the forwards, quicker cleans, meaning quicker ball, and then one thing for Southern, I think their backs need to square up a little. We talked about it briefly, that they're a little bit lateral, but some very good rugby from both sides, a good spectacle, and that's really what we want to see, isn't it?
That's the important thing, absolutely. And just before we take a break, CMK Chartered Accountants are proud supporters of club and Taranaki Rugby. CMK provides accounting and business support to clients Taranaki-wide. Sick of the same old bull? Call CMK today. And we'll be back very shortly with the second half. Clifton, the defending champions, leading this match by 12 points to 5. Welcome back to our coverage of the CMK Premier Women's Final between Southern and Clifton. The defending champions Clifton with the upper hand, 12-5 at halftime. Matt Stone, former Taranaki field coach, is with me. And Matt, what do you think some of the messages would have been at halftime?
Oh, I talked about it just before we went to the break, didn't I? I think it is finals footy. I see Iritana Huhai has come on for Southern, but it will be about that territory initially. Strong defence when you're in the opposition half to try and turn the ball over and get that possession and be patient.
And you mentioned Iritana Huhai. She's got the ball on halfway. And her career was really up in the air, wasn't it? With some kidney issues, but obviously she's combated those. And that's been rewarded by a Black Ferns contract. And she will get the second half back underway here at Yarrow Stadium in front of a really good crowd. Unsure of any other changes, but we will see them shortly, I'm sure. The larger numbers rear their heads out as the game goes on. Kick downfield from Clifton. And it is met there by Iritana Hoai, and she does show us what she is capable of. She's been taken out, but I think that is okay. Baden-Lee Munro-Smith in the 22 returns the favour and spots a little bit of space behind the Southern defence, and she is chasing really well. That is a great chase by Baden-Lee Munro-Smith. But they pass back to the reliable hands of Hohaia. Taken down, though, by Eva Martin. That's a good tackle. But they give away the penalty. Players off their feet. But as we see what Iritana Hohaia is capable of right down in front of us with that step.
And she should be very fit, being she spent a bit of time recently in the Black Ferns camp, hasn't she?
Yeah, and hopefully she gets more games as the year goes on. Not only for Taranaki, but also for the Black Ferns.
She's very talented footballer, isn't she? She's clearly talented in her own personal life as well, in terms of being a policewoman. Yeah, very successful lady.
It just adds a little bit more of a dynamic, doesn't it? Obviously, as you know, Matt, being a cop, you have your fair share of challenges.
Yes, absolutely. But a very good job.
So a scrum here just outside Clifton's 22. And a shunt there coming there from Southern. It's a bit messy at the back. Parata has to go and distribute. Here's Hohaia. What can she do now? Round the defence. Iritana Hohaia. She's going to go for the corner. Tries to turn it back and field, but she's out. The injection of pace is unbelievable.
Well, she's changed the game for Southern, hasn't she? So she's a real threat, and clearly we're going to see a bit of movement of the ball from Southern this half.
Maybe she's been told, let's restore the order.
Important line out here. Need to secure their own line out, Clifton.
Another one against the throw. Parata, off it goes to Smith in midfield, using the backs now. And who are they going to eye up? You'd have to wonder, but that pass goes beyond Farmer and out. I thought they were going to put Hohaia into that gap there, and she was sort of tracking back behind the ball. You could see it, couldn't you, from here?
Would have been the right option, potentially could have created a 2-on-1, couldn't it? Oh, well, I think Devon Berry and the Southern side will be very happy with the start to the second half.
Yeah, it's been threatening again. Getting the ball from the construction side, I think, over the black hoardings. But Dellinger Phipps has it, and this time the line out is okay. Butler goes up with it, and they get it to the back line. That's Abby Thornley.
She's had a lot of energy in the game, a lot of ball carries.
Run nice and hard. Munro-Smith. Again, just gets it between those two Southern players, and that's a very good kick.
Very good kick.
She had one earlier in the first, in the second half, hasn't she?
Yeah, it's a very important skill when you kick the ball to make sure it hits grass. Gives you that little bit more time to chase. It's a little bit less time for the receiving team to play with the ball.
Gorham, Parata, and running the ball up towards where that line out was, Southern. Smith trying to break and could have got the pass off to Hohaia there, but couldn't quite do so. I think that was either Gorham or Kahui. Hohaia there, and you can just see the intent there from Clifton just to smother her so she doesn't get away, because as we've seen, that's what the risk is. Back to Smith. Can't kick it out on the full because it's passed back in the 22. It just bounces out. Heart in the mouth stuff there for just a split second.
Oh, Clifton's opportunity now. They're in Southern's half with a bit of possession, so important they win the ball and put a little bit of pressure back on Southern now.
Dellinger Phipps got the instructions from the team, and less numbers in the line out. They go up for it and they get it back. Blyde, off it goes to her sister Blyde. There's Davison.
Great
a good little pass off to Edmonds. And a loose one too. Dedardig now running it into traffic. Brown and Smith has to go in and make the tackle. Blyde. Munro Smith again. Thought about kicking, then runs it up into the defence, and making the tackle is Gorham. And it's loose at the back, but there's a little cheeky hand in there.
Trying to slow the ball down, which is the right idea, but I guess you've got to do it by the rules, don't you?
Exactly right. So a bumper weekend of Taranaki rugby, and a bumper season coming up too, with the Central Roofing Taranaki Whio and Yarra's Taranaki Bulls memberships. They're available now for the 2023 Bunnings MPC and Farah Palmer Cup. General admission for an adult $40, or an adult and a child in the Matahi or family zone is just $90. Good one there, Matt, for yourself and the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Always enjoy season tickets.
You get some for free, wouldn't you?
No, unfortunately, I'm happy to pay, happy to donate to a good cause, Taranaki Rugby.
Oh, a little knock on there at the ruck. And Anderson wriggling her way out of a few. Edmonds now winds up. Blyde to Munro Smith playing first receiver to Dardig. Off it goes, and Martin couldn't quite control that one. But they're under advantage from the knock-on the far side in front of where Mark, in fact, that's Dwayne Keegan over there, the assistant referee. He's holding the mark. So Clifton, just another opportunity to reset things here.
They've had a few minutes of possession. You know, this is going to wear Southern out. So I guess if they can score here in the next few minutes, then they've got a bit of a buffer on Southern, haven't they?
During the season, you couldn't really split these two teams. Both experienced a win against each other, with Southern winning the round 1 battle and Clifton winning the round 2 battle by 2 points. And talking to Justin Davison midweek, he was saying that the girls knew they played Southern because they just added that little bit more intensity, that physicality. And that's a nice little play there, and it's put Martin in a little bit of space. Over the top it goes. Wearing 23 is Huffman for Clifton, and she's bundled into touch. Great play, though, an injection of speed there from Clifton, the defending champions.
And good defence as well. Just going back to your comment, so I think in previous years, Southern have been the form team or front-runner team, and I think last year's, if I'm right, last year's win may have been a little bit of a surprise by Clifton. But it's good to see that both teams have been right at the top for a number of years.
Yeah, it's either or, isn't it, really? And a clearance downfield. This one hasn't found touch. Huffman in jersey 23. Off it goes to Dedardig. Off it goes to Blyde now. And good handling there to Robinson on that far side. A good tackle there from Hohia. But they've still got possession and ball in hand. Butler, the lock, runs it up towards the 22. Blyde again to Davison. Fends off one and tries to get round the outside. Isolated a little bit. Southern over the ball. And they get the penalty.
Bit of cramp setting in on the far side. I don't think the viewers can see that, but some assistance being given to one of the players.
Yeah, I think it might be Rocky Robinson over there. Dedardig is nursing her.
Tell you, I'm very impressed with this fullback for Clifton, just watching her movement off the ball, which is just as important as her movement on the ball. She's getting to both sides of the ruck looking for work, and that's it's something that a lot of people don't see, but it's very important in your game, particularly as a back three player, wing or fullback.
Yeah, and there's the injury there. A little bit of cramp maybe. Physio was on, just making sure that she's okay.
I think the girls will probably be enjoying the break right now. Experience from Southern though, they're in a huddle there having a chat. Clifton sort of spread out a little bit more, so interested to see what comes from that.
And Cherie Brown doing all the talking there for Southern. It's not a surprise, is it?
No. No, she's played for a number of years for the Fio, so a lot of experience there.
Number 20 on for Southern. Oh, it's Poindexter. Yes, no, she's been playing all game. That's the issue when you've got starting players and reserve jumpers. Just try and toy with the commentators. Couple of former Taranaki field players. Katarina Tulloch running the waters for Southern.
I see named as assistant coach, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on her.
Knock on there at the line out, I think. So they'll start again at set piece. This time Southern will get the feed. So speaking about club rugby, Matt, Stratford Eltham up against Clifton tomorrow at Tikarangi.
Yes. Important game for both teams,
Yes.
I would say, Willie.
Yes. Particularly Clifton, I think.
Yes, yeah. I guess as Stratford Eltham, we've got some goals as well, so it's important potentially for our goals that we're looking at. But it is. It's an important game. Always a tough game out there against Clifton.
Yeah, something different going out there, eh? It's got a really good feel to it.
And they're great hosts too.
Very much so, yeah. Solid scrum there. Southern, Smith, they go beyond a couple of one-off runners and get it out to Ho Hire. Goes lateral and then goes into the defence. May have been held, but gets up and goes again. And it's been turned over. Great work. Clifton now on the attack. Take it up towards the 10-metre line. Blyde to Thornley. Identified as a player to watch, and you can see why, actually. She's making a couple of good runs. Phillips Nassif lays it back for Blyde, who's back into position again. There's the other sister. And Martin just knocks it on, but trying to break away is Southern. What can they do here? Great tackle there from Louise Blyde. 7 tries during the regular season. The ball is out. No, it's not.
Go.
They got to go. Trying to catch the defence napping. There's Thompson. To Ho Hire now. She distributes to that far side of the field. And it's been turned over and then knocked on. Probably better just to run it out. So Southern making that really good break up towards the 22.
Good smart rugby though. The common sense thing to do when you make a break, the defenders are going to honey bite. So some good smart rugby. Move the ball after a break.
It was Gorham again. And she's made a number of breaks as we've got a few substitutions coming on. Number 17 is Ashley Dobson. Number 3 is Rio Hari. And number 16 for Clifton is Tiata Burbage-Love. A couple of replacements coming on for both teams as we probably tick over the... Oh, it's hard to tell. Maybe the 60-minute mark, possibly?
Potentially, yeah. If the sun was out, I'd tell you by the sun, but it's not out.
Are you that good, are you?
Yeah.
Right. So an attacking scrum to Southern inside the 22 on that far side of the field, 5 metres out from that far touchline. Poindestry off the back. It is an 8-9 play. Parata to Smith now. Munro Smith just holding on. And Farmer in from the wing. 6 metres out from the line. Southern trailing 12 points to 5. Poindestry. Number 5 is Kitty. Quick recycle here is needed. Parata. Lynn Smith Higher now, sizing her options, flings it out wide. Farmer again. Clifton getting over the ball and get the turnover. That was the captain, Dallinger Smith. They clear from inside the 22. Here's the chase. It is good so far from Clifton, but Iritana Higher misses reliable, goes back and picks it up one-handed. The ball spews out, and they've got to be all offside. Yep, referee playing advantage, got to play to the whistle. Phillips Nassif, what an absolute momentum shift this is.
Absolutely, I was just about to say the same thing.
Yeah. So no advantage being applied there.
And then they've given the penalty away.
Yep, they'll come out. I think that was for the previous ruck, where the ball just spewed out and all the retiring players were offside and they just picked it up.
Yeah, well, so some great defence from Clifton, and they always say that defence wins finals, doesn't it? So that's probably a big moment in the game, a very big moment in the game.
It was all on there. And Munro Smith to clear, and the line-out will be around the 22.
Clifton doing the right thing. They're ahead of the game now. Slow it down a little bit, chew up the clock.
And it's actually quite difficult to determine what team has the biggest support. I think Clifton possibly.
Yeah, I almost thought it was a Mexican wave going on there, Willie.
I think they were, yeah, applauding someone coming off. Anyway, here's Thornley again being used to run it up. It was Anderson who came off there, so obviously a popular player among the supporters. Munro Smith. Dardig now. He's been very, very tidy in the back line for Clifton tonight. Blyde to Freedom Edmonds. Southern doing well to slow the ball down. Louise Blyde, only 16 years of age and had a really good season. Very young. Phillips Nassif, again, referee playing advantage. They've come up offside here. Yes, Munro Smith using this edge. Yeah, Huffman knocks it on, but they're under advantage. And again, Southern just letting Clifton back in the game, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's important. It's going to be frustrating, isn't it? Particularly for the coaches, I suppose. Kicking for the corner, backing their line out on this occasion.
Yeah, this one hasn't found touch. Oh, that's a big error. And Ho Hai just tried to give herself a little bit of space and said, no, I'm going to have a run here. And does pretty well there, actually, to get out a bit of danger. Flirting with the touch line and also the goal line as well. That one hasn't found touch. Now, what can Clifton do? They've got numbers away. Eva Martin is up from fullback. Going lateral across the field. No support there. And a little bit scrappy too. Probably better off just to hold the ball and go into contact. Maybe just a little bit edgy possibly.
Yes, it's a good relief for Southern, obviously. As much as we want to see movement of the ball and things like that, they want to play fairly simplistic rugby down at that end, I think. Clifton, if they've got the ball, they've got all the time, haven't they? They're up by 7, so yeah, I'd play a slightly simpler game of rugby down this end. Build phases, be patient, and I'm sure it'll lead to points.
So a defensive scrum to Southern inside their 22. Off the back goes Poindestry. Smith. And one of the reserves getting amongst the action and doing pretty well too. Linking up with Hohia eventually. Clifton just desperate to put her on the ground. It was Edmonds and Blyde doing the job there in the end. Going in for it is Pearl Kahui playing halfback. Again, Clifton trying to get over the ball. But nothing there so far. Parata to Thompson. Parata again. Poindestry. Ball has been laid back beautifully, which gives halfbacks, as you know, Matt, a good platform to work off.
Absolutely, it does. Hard to defend when there's quick ball too.
Smith runs it up inside the half. Ball is up. Clifton get in. Told to get off it. Paratat. Good tackle there on Kitty.
Just noticed there's a bit more space for both teams on the short side now. Hopefully they can identify that and use it to effect.
It's been knocked on though at the rucks. And yeah, we were talking about that Stratford Eltham Clifton game. Obviously other matches happening tomorrow. Spotswood Coastal here at Yarrow Stadium. Spotswood United, I should say. We've got Southern hosting Tukop. That's a big game in the competition.
Very big game. Middle of the table. Looking for the top 4, aren't they, both teams?
And then the one in Inglewood hosting your Plymouth Old Boys. Can't comment on that.
You reffing it?
Yeah. I can make comments on the other games,
yes,
but just not that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Probably can't bet on it either.
No, I can't. No, I can't even bet on this one. So a bit of play still to come here in the CMK Premier Women's Final at Yarrow Stadium. Now that's a great one. Rio Huddy gets it off to Iritana Ohio. Breaking Iritana Ohio. That's why she's in the Black Ferns. That's why she's in Taranaki. She'll score under the bar.
Well,
they're back in it.
2 players for Southern that since they've come on, they've certainly made an impact. So is it Rio? Rio Huddy. She's had a couple of very strong carries, and that was her carry. Led to an offload, and then the speed of Iritana Ohio. So it's two strong replacements in the second half that made an impact for Southern.
The scores are level with a kick to come, and the conversion right out in front here for Lynn Smith. You would say that edge ahead.
Game on now, Willie. Game on.
Missed an earlier attempt, did Smith. And a couple of the replacements for Southern getting a round of applause too. And both full packs have played really well. They've been quite busy today, haven't they?
Yeah, they really have.
Set piece, line out, etc. Oh, Smith's kick.
She's missed it.
It missed another one from right out in front. So the score remains 12-all.
12-10. 12-10.
Sorry, 12-10.
Yeah.
12-10. So 12-10.
As the crowd noise starts to lift.
Edge of your seat stuff here at Yarrow Stadium. 12-10, the scoreboard is on screen, but also the top right of the corner as we kick off again. Ho-Hire, the try scorer, all the time in the world. Clears for touch, and bounces in field. I thought that was going out. Eva Martin, the fullback for Clifton, running it up. Again, the Clifton defence just a little bit, the Clifton attack just a little bit late to get there. And there's a little knock on there at the ruck. Just got to be careful they don't lose their way here.
No, and the response to that mistake by Southern, they're all clapping. Clearly the confidence has been lifted after that try.
Southern's 5th consecutive final. I think that just shows how good they've been. And that their last title came in 2020 and 2021, so long time between drinks.
Yes. Testament to the players, but also to the coaching and management who's been fairly consistent those 5 years.
Yeah, they've been good. Reo Hari trying to make another break. Gets the ball off to Ho-Hire, and she's down that far touchline. Tried to bump off the tackle and loses the ball in contact, and it will be a scrum. But Reo Hari and Ho-Hire working really well.
Same partnership,
yep.
Same offload, same speed. question here. Are Clifton going to put ball to foot, get a bit of territory from the kick, or are they going to play inside their half?
Badenly Munro-Smith, she's kicked pretty well in general play, hasn't she?
Yes, she has.
Found a bit of space. But you've got Hohire at the back, though, for Southern, who could be very dangerous covering on the defensive end. It's a bit messy on that far side, so they'll have another line out.
Clifton got the ball back.
I think just talking to the players.
Certainly been impressed by some of the young talent, Willie. Thornley in the forwards for Clifton, Blyde in the back for Clifton, and then you've got Farmer and McLean for Southern. Some real young talent coming through.
Yeah, and it's good prospects as well for Taranaki. And a number of these players have already been earmarked for higher honours, and some are in the squad, some are played before. So the future's bright. Paratat. Up towards the 22 they go. In fact, they go inside the 22 Southern. Trailing 12-10. Smith waiting for it for a while. Here's Rio Hari. Off it goes now. Hohire gets the ball off. Here's Hannah McLean, already scored a try. Breaks away from another. McLean scores another for Southern.
Again, Rio Hari, Iritana Hohire involved in the movement, involved in the play, and a great fend from Hannah McLean to score the try. Well, 2 tries in succession for Southern. Momentum is everything in the second half of the final.
They take the lead 15-12. They scored the first, and it was McLean that scored the first 2. And at the moment, she's had the final say with a kick to come here. Smith really needs to nail this one.
I guess even for Southern, just having a Blackfern on the field surely just lifts you, 10% if not more. Just knowing that you've got the confidence that she's there supporting you.
Yeah, and I think you can just see the change of attitude with Southern just from up here. It's been so positive since Iritana Hohai's come on. That one's just away to the left. But as soon as they make those breaks, Hohaia is just there.
She is, yep. And that's energy, isn't it? That's fitness and energy. Those last 2 kicks, though, from Lynn Smith, fairly close to the posts.
Yep.
Are crucial. That could be important come to the 80th minute.
Three tries to 2 so far. A couple of other replacements coming on, and jersey 20 is Leah Dellinger.
Mother-daughter.
Yeah, how good.
How good. Certainly growing up in height from what I remember at Highlands Intermediate.
Yep.
Very talented basketball player and netball from all accounts, I think.
Good basketball family. So Southern in the lead, 15-12. Just with a spring in their step in the second half. The score at halftime was 12-5. Hohia scored one just after the break, and then another one there to McLean. So that's the situation at the moment. And now Clifton in some space
Great
again.
option.
Yep, Eva Martin kicks downfield. Hohia runs back, then gets it. The chase, though, was pretty good, though. And a good tackle there from Clifton. Southern, though, in the 22, doing well. And this ball here is a little bit awkward at the back, but Munro-Smith has done really well under all sorts of pressure with the ball bouncing. Tries to break off Cherie Brown. Referee playing advantage. They may have been offside. That was a high shot.
Tackle.
Yeah.
Well, Eva Martin at the back for Clifton has done very little wrong. It was a great option to kick through. Great kick chase and put pressure on Iritana Hohia. And ultimately, it's led to a penalty and a scrum with good territory.
And they're going through for a scrum again. Obviously, the line out not working that well at the moment, so going to what they know.
There's also the area of field, I think, where they missed touch too, didn't they, before?
Yeah.
So probably a good option.
One of the players down, and the physio was on at the moment for Clifton.
A little bit of inspirational music in the background.
Yeah. Ken Swan, the ground announcer, has done a great job.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Sounds like a Top Gun song, but I'm not sure if it is.
Might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll update the viewers on the Super Rugby. Oh, my goodness. 52-8. Where the heck has that come from?
Yeah, well, it's bragging rights for All Black coaches, isn't it? Scott Robbins over Leon McDonald.
Yeah, that's right. So Tutu was put in the bin. It's all just been one-way traffic.
Yep. Even before the second semi-finals played, I'd say that puts them as favourites, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Poor Chiefs.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? But I would say, well, I love the Chiefs, but I'd say that they've sort of plateaued a little bit in the last quarter of the round. Yep. I don't know, that might be a bit harsh on them.
Ever since that loss out here, I think.
Yeah.
A month ago or so. Anyway, play continues here. Munro Smith stabs one through and she chases well too. Farmer getting back though. A little bit of hesitation at the back. Who was going to grab that? Farmer off to Hohaya. Two to grab her and put her down.
Penalty.
And another penalty, maybe another high tackle. Of course, as you know, Matt, the emphasis on the tackle being below the sternum. Talking to New Zealand Rugby today, they're pretty confident that it'll come in across the board. World Rugby probably next year.
Yeah, right. Okay, didn't know that. It is interesting. Some players have adapted to it beautifully, and some players are still struggling, aren't they?
And I think we've seen in the men's game, it's actually opened up the games.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Because they're tackling lower, more opportunity to offload.
Yes.
Etc. Right. Oh, this one. Clifton win one. Blyde tidies up at the back. And again, playing advantage. Number 6 is Abby Thornley, who was being attended to by the physio before. Bandage around her nose or something. Clifton in the back line and a lot of space to work with. Great break from Blyde, but a good tackle too at the same time. Slow ball here. Munro Smith is going to go on and play halfback. Here's Huffman down the edge. Another good tackle there from Southern. It was Hohaya and who else? But they're under advantage. They'll come back for the penalty on the far side.
It's good from Clifton. Maintaining possession, this will be tough on this stage of the game, tough on Southern. If they continue to give penalties away, that will get frustrating. And so Clifton playing some pretty good footy.
Clifton are in no rush to go back to the penalty, are they?
No. It's changed from what I said about 10 minutes ago. They're behind the game now, aren't they? So they probably do want to
slow things down a bit. Munro Smith.
It's a good kick.
Yeah, it is a good kick. And not a lot of angle there to work with. So Munro Smith kicks for touch. Clifton really need to control their set piece here. Looks like it will be a full line out. As the crowd give their team a bit of encouragement. Midway 22 and try line. Burbage love to throw in for Clifton.
Oh, well done.
And they control it well. They lay it back. Here's Blyde. First receiver, Davison. Munro Smith. Off it goes to Dardig, who's had a really good game. Distributes in the tackle to Davison, who's there in support. Thornley going over and playing halfback. Munro Smith numbers away to that far side of the field if they can move it.
Space.
Southern defence is all bunched up at the moment, but they get the penalty. Lucky to get out of that one.
Well done. That's Rio Hardy again. She's well and truly in the game, isn't she?
She's been outstanding.
folks, please go and move your vehicle. It is blocking the exit.
Is that your car?
Maybe they'll be right.
Just bring the patrol car, Matt. No one's going to touch that. Oh, dear. And then you just watch to see who's going to leave and then see who it is.
That's right. Running up the stairs.
Yeah. A couple of replacements made there for Southern. Didn't quite see the numbers coming on, but the players getting a round of applause.
I think Kitty and Arnold maybe, the two that have been replaced.
Getting a well-deserved drink, yep. Evelyn Arnold definitely won. She was in jersey 6. Right, Southern now. Parata is hit hard. Here's O'Hire down that edge. Fires it back in field. A good one too. Dropping in the tackle. Referee playing advantage again. Penalty coming up here. Cherie Brown met by Abby Thornley. Parata to Smith. Kicks under advantage. And spots a little bit of space on that far side of the field. Robinson, and they'll come back for the penalty. I think that was for the high tackle.
Maybe a little bit lucky with a forward pass on the edge here. Well, Southern have done the right thing. They've got the possession. With a kick here, I'm going to say they're going to kick, but maybe not. They'll get the possession as well. The territory as well.
Yeah, a few options here. But it has been a really good CMK women's final here tonight. It was 12-5 to Clifton at the break. Clifton just threatening a little bit in the second half, but it's been all Southern. 2 back-to-back tries.
Hasn't all gone my way either. Well, I couldn't pick the Lions in the first half, and I didn't pick that either. They've gone for a scrum rather than a kick.
It's different, eh? You know, like women's rugby, it just offers something a little bit different, you know. And maybe in the men's game, we probably expect them to kick for the line out and go from there, but here they do something completely different.
Yes. They probably play with a little bit more freedom. It does feel like there's potentially the balls in play a little bit more because we're not going to line out, like you say, from penalties. I know there's scrums, yes, but it does feel like maybe the ball's in play a little bit longer.
That's a good point. No, just a little bit of a discrepancy on this near side.
I think if you were to see Iritanoho high at halfback in this situation here, she probably would have tapped and gone.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably with good success.
Yeah. Tammy Canterbury is on for Southern on this near side of the scrum in the front row. The tight head right in front of the referee. Parata feeds it, scrum screws. It's allowed to play Smith. They miss off the one-off runner. And there's Kahui. Over the top it goes. Farmer leaves it behind. That may have been off the foot and it's gone backwards anyway. O'Hire gets out of the tackle of Blyde. And then Martin has got to make the tackle. But again, referee playing advantage. It's a high tackle above the sternum.
Tap and go.
Just heard someone in front of us say discipline. That probably sums it up at the moment. They've been given away a couple. And Smith will kick for touch.
Missed touch.
That one hasn't found touch. So Clifton on the charge again. There's the scoreboard right there on screen. 15-12. Southern, the form team all year with the upper hand. The defending champions are down. Munro Smith, a little kick over the top. Farmer there to greet it, right down the bread basket. Into the bread basket, I should say. Poindestry goes in and plays halfback. There's Smith again, returns the favour. Martin comes back, eye on the ball straight away, and she's got some support there. Over the top it goes. Huffman now for Clifton. Hohaya makes the tackle. Another one, and brings her out to touch. It's probably been the difference.
It has. It probably needed to be a kick to some space in the corner there to get some territory. Yeah, even though they're down, there's still enough time, isn't there, for to play the territory game? Or what are we?
Possibly, yeah. I'm not
Maybe
sure.
Maybe 5 minutes to go, perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No scoreboard clock here tonight.
And no sun.
And no sun.
Well,
throw
well.
there. Yeah, they get it back. Maybe one last throw of the dice. Thornley, who's been powerful, gets off one and still breaks through. Poindestry holding her eye or her nose or something. Maybe her eye, maybe got a finger in the eye, but play carries on. Move it away to this near side. Number 20 is Leah Dellinger. Off to Huffman. Turns it back in field to Blyde. Now they just need to retain possession. Get people over the ball. Butler with a carry. They're in the 22. Down by a couple. Munro Smith. The crowd up on their feet. Eva Martin kicks it away. Was that the best option? Probably not. It goes into the end goal. It'll be a goal line dropout. Maybe better to pass.
Maybe, but they'll get possession. They should get possession back, shouldn't they? This might be a little unsure exactly of the time, aren't we?
Yeah, I should have thought about that. Parata's down. Physio's on, but if they stop play, I think they're going to carry on. Hohaya, that'll get the player up and going. Here's Blyde. Off it goes to Phillips Nassif now. Lays it back there for Blyde. Right, what can they do? Leave it behind. Huffman picks it up on the bounce. Hohaya. Huffman does pretty well there. Slipping and sliding. Ball is still available there for Clifton, the defending champions. Right, what can they do? Off it goes. Here's Blyde. Gets up, off one, not held. Martin now.
Oh, here we go.
Martin for the corner. Can she lift up? She loses the ball forward. The defence scrambling back. It's been knocked on. And that's the game. We knew that there wasn't much time left. Southern has been the form team all season. They beat the defending champions here at Yarrow Stadium by 15 points to 12.
I'm sure if Eva Martin could have that play again, she probably would have held rather than try to offload. Well, what a game.
What a game.
Great excitement. I think the crowd certainly saw what they wanted to see in terms of a spectacle.
It has been outstanding. And Southern pick up their first title since 2021 as well. Clifton, obviously, the defending champs. But we can put a ring around Southern. They're the champions this year.
Absolutely. And I guess a great finale for Devon Berry.
Yep. Moving on, of course, after 5 years. That's him there, just off screen. It'll be emotional, poignant moment for him tonight.
It will be, and I know, and this is just again from experience being involved in the women's game, that they play for him, they love him, and he loves them. So it's like I say, I talked about it earlier in the game. They've got a great culture down there, and potentially that's what won them the game today. You know, I think Clifton probably played the most rugby. Would you say? And Southern, a lot of defence in the first half, and then a little bit of spark from a couple of players in the second half. But yeah, perhaps it was culture that brought them through. Yeah,
and one name too that was just outstanding was Iritana Hohaya. Once she came on, there was just a little bit more of an edge there to Southern's play. And of course, Rangimaria, Reo-Hari, the two just complemented each other. They worked really hard.
Yeah. And it's I spoke at one stage about opportunities, and there was just a couple of opportunities that they took Southern in that second half, and that was all that was required to win the game.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, thanks so much for your time here tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed your debut.
Loved it. Thanks for inviting me, Will.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
No problems at all. And that completes our coverage here on the Taranaki YouTube channel. Southern with a very good win here over Clifton in the women's final. They win this match by 15 points to 12. Thanks for your time.
Wood does a good commentary, eh?
Was it?
The
He's
Wood.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, quite good. You're standing there and
Yeah.
quite entertaining for people talking.
That's why I agree with every opportunity I can.
Oh, I don't mind doing it. It's just I don't often get the chance because I'm actually refereeing. Please move over towards the lines.
Yeah.
Well,
Still connected up there?
Yep. Yeah, I plugged into the other. Into
Hey?
your one. I plugged into your one.
Oh, that's okay. So that goes in. Oh.
Park button next to it. I can grab the keys if you are around. Can I just shoot off and I'll just stop, do the keys? To the
You're
side?
right. Yep. Just about, mate. We're just trying to capture some of this.
Because I think they're in prize giving, aren't they?
Yeah. We should have moved them over. They should have moved them over.
Hey, just to a bit of warning, with your leads, just make sure they're taking pictures. Otherwise, if you leave a couple here, I've got guys coming back to each week.
We used to get Move Farquhar. We used to come to Move Farquhar. Remember Move?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He used to have that business. And he used to come and do all my stuff.
Andre?
Anything else?
Hey?
Is there anything else I need?
No, it's just, yeah, I think we should be fairly much okay. What time were you guys on? 9:30?
9 something.
Yeah, 9:30. Just hang around, there's just a lot of people down here still, so just hang around by the gates and things, and then 9:30 we'll come and see you. Cool, thank you.
It's still 100 and...
Yeah, but we don't need the long, we don't need that one, eh?
Right.
This one?
Oh, you just take any picture out.
Oh. Is that the wrong one?
Yeah.
They'll all be like, we're off. They haven't stopped through.
There you go.
So this is what you should do.
Well, there was too many people to sort of, I think. Let's see what's there left now.
Let's do 109.
109 people still watching. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I can get When I'm doing my prems, it's about 100 and they're mine. Those are those two of mine. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Taranaki Rugby Football Union, we just want to thank everyone for coming to Yarrow Stadium this evening to support the CNK Chartered Accountants Taranaki Premier Women's Final, which was an absolute ripper of a game befitting a final in this competition. What a crowd we had in tonight, cheering every hit up, every tackle. I don't think I've had a crowd like it here at Yarrow Stadium for quite a while. It was great to see. So if we could have one of the co-captains from Clifton to come forward to say a few words.
Let's go and put some of your stuff in the car.
On behalf of Clifton, what a brilliant bloody game. Definitely two teams that deserve to be in the final, and I think we definitely put on a show. Outstanding. I can't say anything else. To my girls, I'm super proud. We've come a long way. We have pretty much everybody back next season, so we're going to be on next year. Thanks to all the supporters, it's been awesome having a grandstand of people like yelling and supporting us. And thanks to Tara for putting this on for us. Cheers.
Well done. And then we can have Cherie, the captain from Southern, to come forward.
Can you hear me? First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to CMK and the union for putting this on. Amazing to be here, number one, supporters in here, all the young teams playing before us. It's really built a good atmosphere, and that's what we want for women's rugby going forward. So firstly, thank you to you guys for organising that. To our sponsors, Howard Physio and Burke Building, backing us, from day one. Thank you guys, Liam, here week in, week out, helping us. So big thank you guys. Like Marie said, what a final way. I couldn't ask for anything more. Both teams stuck it out right to the end, and we put on a show for the supporters. So, yeah, congrats Clifton for a mean season. Like you said, Marie, you guys will be back next year, giving us shit again. So, keep at it. To our girls, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. We stuck it out, from the start of the season right through to the end, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. All of our new girls, I want to say a big thank you to Dev and Tish, Malcolm, Kat, Big, Vic, our team, and Liam for being behind us the whole way. Dev's been with us 5-6 years now. This is his last year, so we've let him go in style. So thank you, Devin. Nothing more to say, just a big thank you, and I hope you all celebrate tonight and you Clifton girls for a good season, so thank you.
Now for the first part of the presentations, we'd like to invite our officials forward to collect their medals, Chloe, Dwayne and Mark. And next we would like to invite the Southern team forward to collect their medals. Who's going first? Again, if you like.
Sweetest go, Lynn. Phil. Kate. Lydia. Let's go. Bronte. Katie. Let's go, Katie. Amani, Jacinta, Riley, Eddie, Sierra Winter, Donia, Zibby, Tammy, Amelia, Kayla, Rach, Ash, Sarah, Vic, Hannah, Mahi, Karen, Evelyn, Nance, anyone?
And Shaz.
Can we bring up Devon? Malcolm. Kat. And Big. Let's go Big.
And we now invite Fiona from CMK to hand over the trophy to our winning team tonight, Southern. And just a reminder, after you've taken your photos and you're leaving the stadium tonight, if all spectators can please leave through the gate that you came into, behind the stand, by the Spotswood club rooms. If you could all please, when you leave the stadium from that gate.